entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Killing is my business, ladies, and business is good.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Titus TV. So today I got a build for you. It's pretty cool. It's a new level 1 boss killer build, and it's better than the Serpent Hunter build, and I'll get into all that and why. But I wanted to make it because of the popularity of the Serpent Hunter build, the RL1 boss killer build. A lot of people were really into that build, and then with patch 1.04 it made it kind of inaccessible because you can no longer use the noble skip to get to the Serpent Hunter. The bridge jump was patched. A lot of people asking if that still worked, so I wanted to clear up a lot of stuff, and I wanted to give a new option and a new build for those of you that are trying to go level 1 and destroy content. Alright, so with this being a level 1 build, we're obviously going to start as a Wretch. For the keepsake, I like the Golden Seed. You can choose whatever you want, and then customize your character as you see fit. So then, as usual, we're going to start off coming to the church, and then we're going to head over to Gatefront, because we want access to our Steed so we can get some mobility. But it is very important for those of you that are new players that you accept here. This is important because you want the mobility of having your Steed to get around the map and all that stuff, so definitely make sure that you click accept there. So then while we're in Gatefront, we're going to grab our first map fragment, open up this part of the map. Then we're also going to grab the Whetstone Knife here in Gatefront while we're here, and that'll let us put affinities on our weapons. We'll get more on that later. And I want to take this time to reiterate, if you're new to the game, the full walkthrough is linked in the description. That's the guide you should probably be following if you're new. So then we come back to the church and we speak to Renna. Tell her that we can call the Spectral Steed. That's important. And when you tell her that, she's going to give you the Spirit Calling Bell and the Lone Wolf Ashes. So now you have a summon to help you with some boss fights. Then we're going to come and we're going to grab the Strength Knot Crystal Tier. And we'll talk more about the Flask later, but this is going to give us 10 additional strength, which is very important if you plan on staying at level 1 like I do. So we'll show it on the map right here. It's up on this cliff. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to kill this knight. It's really easy to just dismount him and then get a crit and then finish him off. And he's going to give you the Golden Vow Ash of War, which is similar to the incantation, but you don't need a faith requirement. So it's right here on this cliff. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab a Somber Smithing Stone 1, which is our first Somber Smithing Stone of 9. And it's just right there over the bridge from Gatefront. Then we're going to come to Fort Haight. And we're going to just run past everything, including the knight, because we don't need blood slashes on this build. So then we'll just climb up and grab our first piece of the Dectus Medallion, which is the left half. And I'll show it on the map really quick for those of you unfamiliar with Fort Haight. Then we're going to come and grab the Castleward Tunnel Set of Grace. We're going to need this later. This is important, so definitely make sure that you grab this. I'll show it on the map here where it's at. You just basically follow the road up and it loops around. Then we're going to go to the third church. We're going to grab a Sacred Tear, which if you're a new player, definitely always grab the Sacred Tears in the churches when you see them because they're very useful. Then you're going to grab your Flask, which is one of the main reasons we're here at the third church. We're going to use this to, like we talked about earlier, gain 10 extra strength and some other bonuses. Then you're going to come just on the northern side of the third church over here into this little pond and use this Waygate to travel. And it's going to put you all the way east in Caelid, and from there I would grab the Fort Faroth Site of Grace while you're here on your way down, just so you could save some time later, and you're passing right by it anyway, so you might as well grab it. So then you're going to come right here on the map. And you want to approach this scarab from the front and kind of spook him off the backside of this log. And then spook him the direction that I'm hitting him. You want to get him over to the cliff and make him fall off. And if you do that, you'll get his Somber Smithing Stone 8. And most of the Somber Smithing Stone 8s are very late game, so this early access is very, very nice. So then we're going to ride down around over here to the Somber Smithing Stone 9. So now we have a Somber 1, 8, and 9. So all we need are the 2 through 7 at this point. So then we're going to rest at any side of grace here in Caelid, and you will be given the option to go to the Roundtable hold. When you get there, just sell off some of your lower end golden runes and buy a dagger and the finger seal, and I will get into why later. Then you're going to come to this spot on the map right here, and you're going to kill this invisible scarab and get the Ash of War for Flame of the Redmanes. It's going to be very helpful later on, especially for new players. So then we're going to come to Fort Gale right here and grab the Flame Grant Me Strength incantation. Now if you're new to the game and you don't know where all this stuff is, remember the full walkthrough is linked in the description. So then just north of that is a Somberstone 4 that we can grab here. And it's very accessible, it's just out in the open, you don't have to fight anything. Then we're going to come up to Lernia, to the Purified Ruins, and we're going to grab the 2 Fingers Heirloom, which gives us 5 faith. And while we're here, we're going to go just north a little bit and use the Waygate that's here in the Purified Ruins as well. And that's going to take you over here to the South Academy Site of Grace. Make sure that you grab the Site of Grace to save yourself some time. And then head northwest over to this spot on the map here. And we're going to grab the Academy Key. And this is why I told you to grab that Site of Grace, because now you can just go back to the South Gate and use this to enter the Academy where we just were. So then when you run into the Academy, make sure you grab this Somber Smithing Stone 3 here. Then when you cross the bridge, then you can jump down here to your right and grab the Carian Knight set, which is a really good, moderately low weight, very good defensive armor for early game. And then you're going to follow this path to take the elevator up, and go ahead and equip that set of armor while you're on the elevator. And then just go ahead and grab the Site of Grace while you're here. It's right there. You might as well grab it to save yourself some time later. And then you can sneak up and backstab this enemy and hop on the elevator. And then you're going to let yourself get eaten here. And this actually will take you to the Volcano Manor. It's kind of a built-in, I don't want to call it a wrong warp, it's an actual warp in the game that was designed. And so it gives us early access to some other high-level Somber Smithing Stones. So just follow my path. And then we're going to grab the Somberstone 6. And then we're going to run up the stairs and take the cage lift up. And there's a Somber 5 right here. So then I want to show something really quick. If you come over and unlock the bridge, there was a patch that nerfed the jump up, but I wanted to show that this is still possible. I did it 3 times out of about a total of 45 minutes or so of jumps. So it's very inconsistent, but it is still possible. If you're dead set on, not wrong warping, you don't want to wrong warp, then this is still the way to go to get your Somber 7 if you don't want to go to Crumbling. Now it doesn't change quest lines at all or anything like that going to Crumbling, but I just wanted to show, if you really wanted to avoid wrong warping and wanted to do this jump, I wanted to show that it's still possible in 1.04.2. So if you don't want to do that jump, then you can just use your Memory of Grace after getting the Somber 5, and when you use it, it will take you back to the beginning of this Volcano Manor area that we started in, rather than a previous Site of Grace. And I will show you how to get out of Volcano Manor really quick. And this is for those of you that just don't want to spend the time trying a very inconsistent bridge jump, which I would recommend. I recommend this over that bridge jump. That bridge jump is very, very inconsistent now, and it was kind of a pain for me to do. So if you just follow this quick path here, you can get out of here and we can wrong warp and grab a Somberstone 7. If you die here, just make sure you grab the Site of Grace. So if you die to these enemies, it's not a big deal, because you'll end up right here back at the Site of Grace. So just grab the Site of Grace, you know, let them kill you, whatever, and then we're going to go to the foot of the 4 belfries and ride up to the 4 belfries. And there's a chest there with an Imbued Sword Key. So we're definitely going to want to grab that, because we're going to use that to teleport to Crumbling. It's very important that you rest at the Site of Grace for the 4 belfries. You have to sit down and rest at the Site of Grace. This is extremely important to this wrong warp. So that's always step 1. So if you fail, you know, you're too early, too late, whatever, and it doesn't work, when you go to reattempt this, you need to always start off with resting at the Site of Grace at the 4 belfries. That's always step 1. Another thing to note is that there's a message, even offline, that says Crumbling Lands to let you know that you're at the right Waygate before you waste your Imbued Sword Key on the Nokron or one of the wrong Waygates. So make sure at the right one, use your Imbued Sword Key, and then use the Waygate to travel to the Crumbling. Once you get to Crumbling, you're going to want to go in your inventory and find your Memory of Grace and make sure that it's here on a quick slot like I have it. So if you're not familiar with this item, you always start the game with it, so you do have it. It's in your inventory somewhere. Just make sure you assign it to a quick slot. Then you're going to go to your map, and that Castleward Tunnel Site of Grace that we said was so important earlier that we grabbed, you want to go to that Site of Grace, press Y to toggle your Sites of Grace, and while you have it highlighted, you want to press right stick down to mark the Castleward Tunnel Site of Grace. And then you can toggle with the Y to see your marked Sites of Grace. You want to only have the Castleward Tunnel one as a marked Site of Grace for this. So translate this to whatever console you're on, but for a PlayStation controller, you're going to use your Memory of Grace, click yes, press map, triangle, triangle, X. And you want to press X as late as you can while still getting the registry sound. If you're too late, you'll get this, where your Memory of Grace works, you're back at the 4 belfries. If you're too early, you're going to get this, where you're in the Castleward Tunnel Site of Grace. But if you press X right as the Memory of Grace sound is ending, and you do it correctly, you'll end up right here in front of where the fog door should be for Margit, and you want to immediately quit out, and then when you load back in, you'll be here in Crumbling, and have access to the entirety of the area. So now you're going to run through this area, but I want you to remember that this is a very late game area, so especially if you're newer to the game, do not try to stop and fight these enemies. They're going to destroy you. You want to run past them as fast as you can, dodge, get this first Site of Grace, because then if you die, if you touch that Site of Grace and then die, you're going to respawn right there at that Site of Grace. So that's the most important thing you can do, is make sure that you grab the Site of Grace. So then even if they come in there and kill you, you can just respawn right here and you're still in Crumbling. You don't have to redo the wrong warp. The first important item is the Hero's Rune. You're going to want to grab that Hero's Rune too, because it's going to give you, I think, 20,000 runes, which is pretty significant. And then the same thing with the Golden Rune 12. We want to grab that while we're here. You're running right past it, you might as well grab it. Then you're going to grab the Site of Grace and the Somber Miner's Bell 4. That will let you buy Somber 7 and Somber 8s, as many as you want for the rest of the game. Then we're going to come and grab our actual Somberstone 7 and save ourselves a lot of runes by just picking it up on the ground there. Then we're going to come to talk to Irina and make sure that you click deliver the letter. So then she'll give you her letter. That's important as well if you're a newer player, not so much if you're an experienced player. Then we're going to go to the Mistwood Ruins. We're going to grab the Axe Talisman, which will boost our charge attacks. This is something we use later in the game. After you get your 3rd talisman slot, this is what will go in there. Then you're going to come over to the Minor Erd Tree, just east of there, and grab the Spiked Cracked Tear, which also boosts charge attacks. And you're going to throw this in right away with your Strength Knot. So remember how we said to grab that Fort Faroth Site of Grace? If you did, you can just travel right back here. Run past the bats inside, climb up, grab this Dectus medallion right half. You now have the entire Dectus medallion. And while you're here, you're going to follow this path and dodge all the rats down here. You might as well grab this Golden Rune 12 here, because that's a lot of runes. And the Redagon Sword Seal Talisman that we're grabbing here is very important, because it gives you essentially 20 levels worth of stats. And the 5 strength and 5 dex and 5 vigor and 5 endurance that we get are very important on a level 1 build. So then we're going to come back down to Weeping. And you might as well grab the Morning Star because it's right here on the way to where we're going. And it gives you another strike weapon so you can power stance it with your club. It causes bleed damage so you can use it to bleed the dragon. It's just all around good. Then we're going to equip our Flame Grant Me Strength, our Strength Not Crystal tier, and our Spiked Crack tier. Then you could put the Flame of the Redmanes Ash of War on your club right now and make it a fire affinity to make things a little bit easier in this next part. It's completely optional. And then I would throw the Golden Bow on your dagger now while we're here doing all this stuff. And feel free to equip and power stance with the Morning Star as well, like we talked about here. So then while you're here, you might as well add as many charges to your flasks as you can, depending on how many sacred tears that you grabbed along the way in the churches. And I would use the golden seeds as well to increase the amount of flasks that you can carry as far as you can as well. And I would give myself at least one extra mana flask. Then we're going to go to the Grand Lift of Dectus now that we have our full Dectus medallion. We're going to take the lift up to the Altus Plateau. We're going to head over to the Sealed Tunnel. And really there's only one enemy in here that we even have to fight, and we can just backstab him, and it's pretty easy and safe to run through here. So you come through the illusionary wall right there at the entrance, backstab this one enemy. And then inside this chest over here is the second smithing bell bearing, so that gives you unlimited access to smithing stone 3 and 4, which takes weapons to +9 and +12 respectively. So that's all we're doing here in the Sealed Tunnel. Then we're going to head over to the Crystal Tunnel, and please remember, if you're lost during any of this, that the full walkthrough is linked in the description for newer players. So when you get inside this tunnel, right near the entrance is a chest with 2 enemies with the Somber Smithing Stone 2. And then from there you just progress through here normally to the very bottom and enter the boss fight. Go ahead and summon your wolves, and then seeing as to how this boss is weak to strike weapons and you're power stancing them, you should make pretty quick work of this fight. So then you're going to have the Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing 1, which gives you unlimited Smithing Stone 1 and 2, which takes weapons to +3 and +6 respectively. Now we can turn in all those bell bearings that we collected, and this should allow you to take any weapon in the game from here out to +12 at any point that you want, because you have unlimited access to Smithing Stone 1, 2, 3, and 4 now, as well as 7 and 8 for Somber Smithing Stone. So I would use whatever runes that you have now to get to 12 Smithing Stone 1s and however many Smithing Stone 2s you can buy. Just that way, in case you die, you don't lose any of those runes. And we're going to need those smithing stones anyways. So now I'm going to show you how to get to the Claymore. It's a pretty quick and easy route. There's only one enemy that's probably going to aggro, and you should not have too much trouble with him. So then loot the chest behind you. There's a Claymore in there. It's a very good level 1 weapon that does not require a lot of stats. And with the Radagon Sword Seal, you can pretty much just run around and use this thing, no issues. Then I would come in, I would use the hero rune that we grabbed to get those 20,000 runes and purchase any remaining smithing stones that you may need to have 12 of each. So you need 12 1s, 12 2s, 12 3s, and 12 4s. And it shows you right on the screen the number held, so only purchase the difference of what you need to have 12 total. Just make sure you don't overbuy if you already have some. So then head over to the blacksmith and strengthen your claymore all the way up to +12. Now if you run out of runes along the way, just go ahead and sell the blacksmith some more of those golden runes. It'll show you, how much the rune is worth when you go to sell it, and just sell only what you need to get the runes needed. I'll show here real quick. You can just sell the runes to him really quick. He tells you exactly how many he's going to give you, and just sell enough as needed to make sure that you can get the claymore to +12. Then we're going to go ahead and put the Flame of the Redmanes Ash of War on our claymore now, because that will be our main weapon, and you might as well make it fire at this point for a little bit extra damage early. Then you want to follow this route that I'm taking, climb the ladder, run across the top of the ramparts, and make a left, and kill anything that aggroes you on the way. And then run past the fight if you can. There should be some enemies fighting each other. Just run past and kill anything that gets aggroed. Then you're going to talk to Edgar, who's Irina's father, and make sure that you deliver the letter that she gave you. And now if you did that, you can summon Edgar to help you fight the boss in this area, which will make it tremendously easier for newer players. And while you're waiting for him to summon, you can go ahead and throw your buffs on, like Flame Grant Me Strength, Golden Bow, and then don't forget to switch back to the Radagon Sword Seal after using your 2-Finger Heirloom to have enough faith to use your Flame Grant Me Strength. Then when you come into the fight, you can summon your wolves and further strengthen your numbers for this fight as a newer player. And this is all deliberately set up to make this fight as easy for you as possible. You have a ranged attack with Flame of the Redmanes. You can wait till they stagger him, run up, do some serious damage. You could be just kind of as involved as you want to be. I just gave that option by bringing in Edgar the Savage to carry most of the weight for you. So the Grafted Blade Greatsword is the main weapon of this build, and now we finally have it. This weapon is insane. It does more damage than the Serpent Hunter was doing at level 1. It provides a ton of defense. We'll get more into the specifics later, but in order to use it, we need to first go back to Castleward Tunnel again and apply the same strategy to this fight. Feel free to get a summon. We're going to get all of our buffs on. We're going to go inside. We're going to summon our wolves, and that way we have enough help to where we can be as involved in the fight as we need to. For those of you that are very new to the game, I really kind of went out of the way to make sure that this was new player friendly. So then after you gank Margit, you're gonna get another talisman pouch, which is really the reason that we came to kill Margit, was for the talisman pouch so that we can now go and get our second talisman. So now that we have the claymore, it's plus 12, we've got some damage, we can go back to Fort Gale, except this time we're actually gonna climb the ladder and enter Fort Gale. Kill the enemies inside that are between us and our talisman. I recommend the Flame of the Redmanes. It will one-shot stagger them, and then you can finish them off with one attack. And then there's one knight here that's particularly tough, and same thing. Flame of the Redmanes will stagger him, and then you should be able to finish him off. Honestly, once he goes down, you could just probably finish him with one critical. So then we have the Starscourge Heirloom, which will give us plus 5 strength, and between that and Radagons, we now have enough strength to use our weapon. I also want to mention that the Fort Faroth Sleeping Dragon duplication glitch is still working, so if you're newer to the game and you miss some of the runes because you're not following the full walkthrough, which you really should be doing if you're new to the game, you can always get runes by coming here to Fort Faroth, kill this dragon with the Morning Star because it has bleed on it. The second he does his death twitch like that, where he twitches out on the last hit, immediately run back to the site of grace, and when you rest, he'll respawn, and you can do this unlimited times for unlimited runes early on. So we're going to head to the road to the Manor, site of grace. And if you're missing any Somber Smithing Stone 1 through 4 that we grabbed, you can grab those here as well. And we're going to go ahead and strengthen our Grafted Blade Greatsword all the way up to plus 9. Which doesn't sound crazy, but Somber weapons only go to plus 10. So it's the equivalent of like a plus 24 regular weapon, which is not possible this early. So now we have a almost 1000 damage weapon at level 1 early on. And it provides a huge defensive buff. I'm going to show you really quick. So this is without it equipped. You see 2, 3, 4 hits. On the 5th one would probably kill me. So now if you look at the defensive buff of this, 1, 2 hits, 3, the same 4 hits right there. I'm barely at half health. 5, 6, I could probably take 8, you know, and be at similar health. So your damage negation is that of 50 to 100 levels higher than you are right now. So that's why I nicknamed this build the Terminator, because not only is the offense insane here, as you can see, just with only Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow, we're already at 900 AR, which is insane on a level 1 build. And that's only 2 buffs that we grabbed right at the very beginning of the game. There's a laundry list of other buffs that I could throw your way that would push this way up over 1000 AR, which is insane for a level 1 character. And then if you want to take this and level up with it, you know, you could take all those advantages a lot further. But I'm playing it as a level 1 character, and I think that this is the new Serpent Hunter, new and improved, because Serpent Hunter didn't provide this kind of huge defensive increase, and Serpent Hunter didn't provide this kind of damage. I feel like this damage is much higher than the Serpent Hunter was able to provide. So it's a really fun build. I definitely recommend you guys try it. Right now it's my go-to for the level 1 for you guys, aside from the super secret level 1 build that I'm using for my level 1 one-shot challenge, and that build will be out very soon. I hate to tease you guys like that, but with everything that's been going on, I just have to make sure that I have my content ready to get out there to you guys, so that I don't see someone else putting out my content before I can put out my content for you guys, you know? That way we could keep the trash can remake versions of my videos as an afterthought the way they have been, and you guys can still see it firsthand here. Then as usual, throw your question, comments, concerns into the comment section, and I'm pretty good about getting to everybody. If I miss you, or you've got a pressing concern, a question, you're stuck on something, always head over to the Discord. That's always linked in the description as well. You can head over there. There's a lot of really great people ready to help out at all times, and I'm in there a lot of the time, but in case I'm filming or I'm you know, working on real life work or whatever it is. There's a lot of great people there to stand in my place and give you all the knowledge and all the information that you need to get past whatever you're stuck on. Also, you might be able to answer your own question if you head over to my new website, TitusTV.net. I have a searchable table with all the item location guide videos. I have all the build guides there. I have all of the best farming methods. I have all the area route guides. I have all kinds of information. The new wrong warps, I keep all that up to date. What's the newest working wrong warp skips, all that stuff. So definitely check that out if you're stuck as well. So I hope you guys have fun with the build. I just want to say thank you to you guys again. I'm extremely humbled by the amount of support that we've received on this channel since a little over a month ago when we started. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay dangerous.